Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And for those of you who like these type of videos, please remember to click like down below. This video is going to get hit hard by a bunch of vegan fangirls. And that's one of the things I'm going to stay current with. And I feel I have a moral obligation to fight back against veganism because it is big on YouTube fitness. A lot of them out there. We just saw yet again another case of a pair of vegan parents being charged because their child died of starvation. Okay, if we can get rid of veganism and save just one child's life, it would be worth it. It is an insidious, evil, evil diet. Okay, and it hurts people, and it hurts athletes, and we have to do something about it. That's one reason I'm very, very vocal about it. And a lot of vegans don't understand that. They get upset. They don't understand that I legitimately and truly believe that. And it's based upon all the evidence I've observed over the years. So when they come up and they pull their strategies and their games, because vegan experts and speakers have said for many, 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 many years, they are willing to lie to promote veganism because it's the greater good. And that if they have to lie about health benefits, if they have to lie about athletic benefits, if they have to lie about anything else, that they will do so in order to promote their diet because they believe that it's morally correct and therefore the lie is justified. And this whole Game Changers was a perfect example. Patrick lied about holding certain world records. He does not hold world records in anything strongman related. Any official sanctioned type events that they do at the world level, he does not hold any. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Vegans are now acting like, and I want to address this, they're saying, well, Brian called Patrick out. No, he didn't. Patrick called Brian out in the documentary, and vegans will say, why? He didn't say his name. It doesn't matter. He claimed to have the world record for something that Brian Shaw holds the world record in. Okay, Patrick is not a world-class strongman. He is not a world-class strongman. And if put into powerlifting rules, I don't think he would do as well at a powerlifting meet as even the vegans think he would. Okay, he may not compete as well as you guys think he would. Particularly when it gets Wilksed out on a Wilks score. So even in my sport, his squat, bench, and deadlift in terms of relative strength, when put under legal raw conditions, I promise you guys he's not as strong as you think he is. I'm not saying the guy's not strong, but he's not world-class level, and that's okay. Not everyone can be world-class level. He's not world-class level in his sport. The issue you have, he got up and told a lie. And when someone else has a world record, when you're like a low-level amateur or a middle-rank person in a sport and you get put in a documentary that millions and millions and millions of people see, it doesn't have to be strongman. Let's take any other sport. Let's put it into context because most vegans are not strong. Let's put it in a context they will understand. Basketball, baseball, whatever, right? If some college ball player jumps up and says, I actually have, in a vegan documentary, well, I actually hold the world record for whatever free throws or whatever number of home runs in one game, right? That I hold the world record. The person who actually holds that record, you just called them out. And so then the person who is a top-ranked professional, maybe in the top 3 in the entire world of the history of that sport, who holds the actual record, you called them out by lying about having their record. Do you understand that? That is a call out. So yes, Brian stood up and said, actually, that's my record. That's really, and he was very polite about it. He better be glad he didn't claim to have a record that Eddie Hall holds, because Eddie Hall isn't nice. Like, Brian Shaw is super nice, and I honestly believe that the vegans pulled that on purpose. They pulled that because I think they probably researched ahead of time and found out that Brian's a really nice guy, so they took his record instead of something that, say, Eddie Hall holds, because Eddie Hall, probably the sort of dude who would just show up at Patrick's door with a camera crew and Crowley call him a weak pussy and slap him or something. And then challenge him and force him to do the event. That sounds more like Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall wouldn't care. Like, you guys better be glad y'all didn't mess with him. You messed with Brian. Because Brian Shaw is a really nice, happy, laid-back guy who's no one's ever seen him angry, never insulted anybody. He's a big, gentle giant. That's where the vegans lucked out. They didn't go get somebody who's actually aggressive. But that was a call-out. That was literally an insult to a world-class athlete when you vegans lied about one of your people holding his record. Because I'm sorry, but Patrick is not a world-class strength athlete. He's just not. He's nationally ranked over in Germany and stuff, absolutely. He's not a world-class level strength athlete. If it wasn't for this vegan documentary, he wouldn't even be on the radar. The fact that he's a vegan is the only reason this is being discussed, because he's probably the strongest vegan you guys could find. Therefore, if you're going to make vegan propaganda and documentary, he's a big deal. But in the grand scheme of strength sports, he literally is a non-entity. So yes, to get up and lie about a world record is an insult to Brian. And then all these vegans are delusionally acting like the guy is as strong as Brian. He's not as strong as Brian on anything. Okay? We can argue about squats all that we want. Patrick's squat is not legitimately as good as you think it is. There is some debate about whether Brian has a current hamstring injury or not, but he could still do the yoke walk. And that's the point, that a lot of these lifts, even if he's rehabbing an injury at the moment, he is still probably legitimately stronger than Patrick on 80% of movements in spite of that. Okay, and the understanding is that he was challenging Patrick to any lift that Patrick's claiming to have world records in. And the fact is, vegans can get defensive about it, and they have been, and they're attacking Brian. Oh, you're back up. Brian doesn't have to answer to this guy. Patrick is never qualified for anything. If he was good enough to compete with Brian, he should have gone and qualified and got invited to world level events to compete with Brian. Okay, he hasn't earned a place at the table. Okay, these are merit-based sports. Being a vegan and getting in a documentary because you're the strongest vegan in the world, which makes you, a mid-rank athlete. The best vegan in the world is not going to be the best at anything. They can't be. The diet hurts performance. Yes, they could be good. There are vegans who are probably stronger than me. I'm not going to argue that point. They're not going to go compete against carnivores and omnivores. Carnivores, it has its own set of issues. Let me take that back. They're not going to compete with omnivores at the world level. Unless they only became a vegan very, very recently and they haven't lost size and strength yet. It's not going to happen because it's an inferior, garbage, stupid diet. And you're stupid if you follow it and you're an athlete. That's just how I feel. I know Clarence is going to get angry at me and throw an insult. It has nothing to do with anything lifting related. But the fact is, if you are serious about strength, serious about true athleticism, and you jump on a vegan diet, that is not an intelligent choice. That's an emotion-based choice based upon your bizarre ideas of ethics, which you have a right to have. I disagree with them. They're not going to go compete with them. And the fact of the matter is, if Patrick wanted a place at the table, he should have got good enough and strong enough to go compete at that level. He has not earned a right to compete against a world-class athlete. He has not earned a place at the table. He has not earned it. And maybe he will one day. I could be wrong. He needs to go earn his place to compete against the guy. And quite frankly, Brian didn't even have to answer to him. He got baited into it, I think. He honestly should have just laughed and said, I hold the world record, he doesn't. This guy, and he should have been honest too. But Brian is too nice of a guy. He should have said, Patrick has not earned a place at the table. Any of these other guys who aren't as nice, that's the response he would have got. Who are you? You're just some fat vegan who got a little bit of strength, and you can't compete at the world level because if you could, you would be there. That's what they would tell him. But the vegans are so fanatical about it that they honestly think, and they're delusional, because you go read comments in any of the vegan groups and channels and forums, they legitimately think that Patrick is at the level of any of these guys. He's not. He has never earned a spot in his competition to go compete with these guys. He's not good enough. He's not strong enough. Okay, that's the reality. All right, that is a fact. And again, it's this ludicrousness that vegans feel their need to push their nonsense on everybody else. That's why they'll come in and when you attack them, they'll say things like, well, you know, what's evil about not eating animals? The fact that you push stupidity and ignorance on everybody else all the time and push it down their throats. The fact that you kill your children by putting them on vegan diets. The fact that you lie as a group about the health benefits of your diet, knowing it causes mental illness, according to all the data. Vegans have extremely high rates of mental illness compared to the general population, says studies. Okay, it's a diet that makes you crazy. It's a diet that kills children. It's a diet that impedes performance. That's what's wrong with it. And the fact that you guys lie and push it down everybody else's throat to the point to where you guys will lie about an athlete and claim that he holds world records, and then vegans will actually defend the stupidity of it. Okay, that shows how moronic and ignorant and evil veganism is. There you go. It rots people's brains due to vitamin deficiency. It makes them act crazy. That's my opinion on it. And your proof is the way this whole thing has gone down between Patrick and Brian and all the vegans chiming in. You're proving my point. Any vegan who legitimately thinks that Patrick has any right to call out Brian or claim his records or even compete, has earned a right to compete against him, just proved my point. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.